greeting you with a view to a kill. Face to face in secret places, feel the chill. Nightfall covers me, but you know the plans I'm making stay overseas. Could it be the whole of opening wide? A sacred wine, a mystery gaping inside. The weekend's why until we dance into the fire. That fatal kiss is all we need. Dance into the fire to fatal sounds of broken dreams. Dance into the fire. That fatal kiss is all we need. Dance into the fire. Choice for you is the view to a kill. Between the shades, assassination standing still.
Welcome. Sunday afternoon. We got Mac Pow is Freedom. Good to see you. X-Mask, The Key of C, a little Duran, View to a Kill, little Sean, 007, back in the 80s. Duran played their own instruments. They're a pretty good band. I liked them. And they're still going, apparently. JW, good to see you. Good to see everybody and those eyeballs that are lurking. We love a little Duran. Just think in the next 50 years to 60 years, most of us men will be long forgotten. The grave marker will have ran its first 10 years of sadness, and then we'll be forgotten. We'll be forgotten just like everybody else. Who remembers the people 100 years ago? Outside of, Al Capone and the Bad Boys. Not those cemeteries are not a lot of visitors, So we got to do what's right for us in the future. 2024 was a great year for the manosphere. PUA is getting weak. MGTOW is going strong, and MacPow was born. Good to see you. Tell me where you are from. Justin is in the chat. Chain, shackles, and chastity belts. That's a handful right there. Chain, shackles, and chastity belts for 300. I like it. So, blue pill programming and why it destroys men's self-esteem. That is more paramount than anything. If you can extract and debilitate a man's esteem or self-esteem, you win. Not only do you get a workhorse, you get somebody to do what they want. Most likely will end up in a lot of different situations that are unwelcoming. I believe blue pill is literally out. The programming that blue pill does in the end will destroy a man's self-esteem. Simple as that. We'll get into it. Rusty Rivers, the captain in the chat. Good to see you. From Portugal. All right, brother. So you must know our one guy down in Brazil. Oh, man, what's his name? Can't remember, but he's got a big MGTOW following. Anyhow, obrigado for being here, brother. Obrigado. Okay, so here's the deal. Number one reason I believe is this. What do they say to a man when he's going through high school and college and everything and gets a job? You got to get a wife. You got to be a family man. You've got to be a husband. You've got to take care of a family. You've got to do these things. So it gets imprinted in us very early that we will be some sort of serving utility in the future because we're going to be taking care of the bills, working, and so forth. We will be serving an entity greater than ourselves. Most men sign up and say, great, good to see Jedi Run in the chat. And so we start believing that we are being molded, and this happens years ago. It happens before you're 10 years old. You see your dad going through this the system. You see your uncle. You see everybody, and so the issue is you begin to be programmed that you are going to be a workhorse, and workhorse might be too derogatory, but you're going to be a provider that's going to sacrifice his time, his energy, and everything to be submissive to a boss to earn money to pay for the roof and the white picket fence and the loaf of bread on the table. Go your own way. No need to incite. Correct, brother. So what happens when a man says, okay, I'm going to get married? He might not marry the greatest person. He might not marry who he wants, but a lot of guys will get married under pressure. Okay. Let's say you don't marry under pressure. Let's say you get married to your high school sweetheart. But again, she's programmed to be the caretaker or the wife. You're programmed to be the husband. So what happens? I wrote a couple things down. You can't be alone. Rad, you can't be alone. You're going to be weird if you're alone. You got to get a wife. X-Mass, the statistics say that only 45% of men will have biological children. Most men will not reproduce. I've heard that statistic. So what does this do when you start thinking that? Well, let's say you can't get a very good job. Let's say your degree doesn't, maybe your career path is becoming extinct and you can't get a job to pay everything. Maybe you work 2 jobs and you start thinking something's wrong with me. All my other friends have, big time careers. They're dentists, they're lawyers, they're business people. You start thinking that way, right? Your wife's not happy because you can't give her everything that she wants, which she'll never be happy, but you get the idea. So then the thoughts are, I'm not good enough, right? I'm not good enough. Something's wrong with me. I'm not good enough. Bat says, married life, game over. General M. Bison, Street Fighter 2 movie, attaboy. All right, SCE in the chat. Good to see you, brother. Okay, let's keep it chill, you guys. We're all buddies here, Mac Pow and Jedi. And then you start thinking, then you start withdrawing. You're feeling these feelings of I'm not good enough, something's wrong with me. Your self-esteem is now cracked. You become maybe more shyer around people. You become more closed off. You don't share with others. You become more introverted. Now, right here, they've got you. At this point, you're in their control. You become a shell of the person you once were. This happens all the time to most men, even those men that you think are so successful, who are totally blue-pilled. I guarantee 2 of those issues come down, because if you can't give your wife everything that the next guy can give her, maybe you make $1 million a year, he makes $2 million. Now she's going to start coveting and wanting what the $2 million provider who has a wife wants. The $2 million wife will want the lifestyle of a wife that gets $4 million a year. Do you see where that happens? Every man feels these feelings in a blue-pilled world. Simple as that. My ex has given me several evil smiles when she thought she had me. The truth is, always remember in the movie Papillon when he says, hey, you bastards, I'm still here. There you go, Bookshelf. Good to see you. So right there, they've got you. They've got a controlled entity. Now the guy starts thinking, what am I doing on this earth? What value do I bring to the table? See, taking a guy's money through divorce court and divorce lawyers and courts and petitions and motions is one thing, but taking his literally soul, his self-esteem is paramount in my opinion with the powers that be, the blue pill world. So why is MGTOW so threatening? Because we don't allow these feelings of I'm not good enough. We don't have to be that provider anymore. They gave up. Here's another one. Hi, Renegade. Good to see you. Money equals freedom. Build and invest continuously in yourselves. Well said, brother. Here's another one. You've got to just pay. Do you know what? Just give her what she wants. Pay. Get your kids a pony, a motorcycle. Do everything you can. Work 3 jobs if you have to. Follow her to the end. You need to take care of all of her needs. Remember, happy wife, happy life, happy girl, happy world, whatever. You have to do everything. Now, where are you in this whole picture as a provider and a protector? which most men want to be providers and protectors for those that value those people. So if you're a provider and a protector, we usually put our desires at the end because, it's for the good of the family. It's for our children. We decided to do it. We want to do the sacrifice. In the end, 20 years later, we'll pick up where we left off. And when the kids get older, we can do more individual things. But for the first 5 to 10 years of a new family, we are sacrificing everything. Right? What happens a lot of times? Leads to depression, leads to unfulfillment, physical health issues. How many men are out there that are physically sick? And on top of being physical sick, the worst part of being sick is mental and emotional sickness. That's worse than physical. I think mental and emotional will lead to all the physical symptoms. Let's see. MacPow is Freedom says, bitches are bottomless pits of doom. They are never satisfied. Once they get with Superman, they want Hyperman. Exactly. Absolutely. Well said. Justin says, we did not give up, Brad. No, we don't. And we're not giving up. Now, is it easy to go through the holidays as a single man that doesn't see your kids or doesn't see other friends because they're all married or live somewhere else? Sure, but we have each other to run our experiences by. This is a day-by-day thing. This is not something you learn, digest, and then you're off and doing your thing. Well, hopefully, as you get older, but those guys that are going through a lot of this and a lot of older guys, it's always good to refresh and meet up with guys that understand this. So those are the issues. These are the things you start saying from a blue pill programming perspective. Something's wrong with me. I can't keep a marriage. I can't keep a wife happy. I can't find a woman. Number 2, I'm not good enough. Number 3, you become shy, introverted, reclusive. That leads to depression, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and financial issues. Every issue that could possibly happens when a man loses his self-esteem. And then at the end, you become a shell of a man, a shell of who you once were. Now, who were you before you met that woman and had kids? I guarantee you were a lot more funner to be around. You had more hobbies. You had more interests. You enjoyed the weekends. You enjoyed going out. Most married men don't love the weekends. A lot of them try to avoid it doing yard work or whatever. They don't want to deal with the naggy. During the week, they're at their job. They're away from all that crap, except, the 10 texts and voicemails he gets because he forgot something at the store, whatever. But you see what I mean? Go your own way to freedom, gentlemen. Focus on investing in yourselves in 2025. Well said, brother. Blue pill thinking just doesn't pan out for us. Bingo, Mr. Blander. There's no benefits in being a relationship with a woman. The man does all the work unless you want to be the simp, Superman, Captain America, and then go ahead. A lot of guys will step up, Matt. They'll end up exactly where I just said. Mike says, hey, Rad, have you read The Manipulated Man? I have. Very good book. Came out in the 70s. And boy, did the feminists go off on her. The most blue pill I see is the normies at work, beta broken, dead bedroom, happy wife, happy life, program turbo normies, like watching a nature documentary on the BP. Good to see you, Blaster. You just laid it down to Chinatown. Most of these guys are miserable. Now, a lot of these blue pilled guys, and we were all blue pilled. If we were married, we were blue pilled. If we were in love, we were blue pilled. That's okay. We accept where we were. 20 years, MacPow, 20 years. I used to take the long way home after work to avoid my abusive woman. Attaboy. Good to see. I see you. Rusty, how close are you to being able to stream? All right. I see, Master. And Timmy Kramer, best decision of my life was not getting married. The forever bachelor would know a thing or two at his age. 57 going on 42. So those are the issues, man. I'm telling you, blue pill programming, if they can break you, your self-esteem, it's even better than you 6 feet under. Now they got a controllable entity. They got a guy that's going to probably not cause any issues. So we that have figured this different world out, this world of red pill or going your own way, we are the enemy because we will not allow that. Well said, Justin, they are losing it. Good to see Trog in the chat. Shout out to you. We all start out blue pill, then get red pill, then the relationship guys go purple pill. Sure. You know, and I don't hate on guys that do the Jonathan Noble way, that want to hang out with a woman. He has his own place, he has his own world, has his own life, has no kids, doesn't cohabitate, doesn't fall for those goofy emotions, and enjoys spending time with somebody. But again, a lot of those can also lead you down the wrong path too. Men are susceptible to the woman's charm. All right, let's see. We got, if they think they can decide my destiny, they can nurse on D's nuts. They can nurse on D's nuts. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. And if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom. For it is only when he is alone that he is really free. Oh, well said. Well said. Men need to leave. Men need to learn to be alone. It's an acquired. I think it takes a while if you haven't been alone a lot in your life. If you know, because programming says don't go to the movies by yourself, don't go to dinner by yourself. That's weird. You need to go with somebody. It's a skill, and when you're content to being with yourself and having to entertain somebody else or having to be a certain way to entertain a certain person or a certain people, certain group, you know, you have issues. You begin to, you know, a lot of these lonely people are just wanting the validation of another human being to let them know that they're wanted. Every human being on this planet wants to be validated. We all do. But it's, what does a validation, I mean, at the end, how do we cash it in for our betterment? And we all know that the only validation that really matters is the guy staring back at you in the screen or from the mirror. I don't fall for women's charm because I stay abusive. There you go. I feel better about myself when I ignore women out there, especially when I don't feel anything for them, just like they don't for us men. Well, you figured it out, Bat. Good for you. The newer generation of guys are way too distracted and need to learn to listen. Well said, X-Mask. End of the days, there's only one person you can count on, which is yourself. Absolutely. Well said, Trog. Solitude is addictive. Once you get a taste, you won't want to go back. Well, it takes a lot of pressure off too. You know, when you're able to be alone and be by yourself, you don't feel the pressure to have to go along with the group or even hanging out with buddies. You know, you don't just feel that pressure of having to show up or having to watch a game you don't want to watch. You know, it's just, it is what it is. Solitude is like mediation. It's an acquired skill. Bingo, SCE. Golf yesterday by myself and had a great time. Just me and my game. Shot 4 over par. Peace, quiet, and freedom for 300. Trog says, wife left a year and a half. I don't miss her. So peaceful. You begin to not miss them. You know, one of the biggest things a man can do is write a pro and cons list down of being in a relationship or an ex-wife or whatever. And just looking at the pros and looking at the cons. I guarantee the cons will be 3 to 1 on the pros. And you got to be generous on both sides, you know. And you know, I always tell guys when I wrote my little pamphlet, if you're going through something difficult, write a pro and cons list down about going with that whatever you need to happen or not happen, and read it and get your thoughts out logically. I did this with my sons, and they've made great decisions just based on, I go, you're having an issue, you know what to do? And they're like, I'll do a pro and cons. And they read them out, and then they decide the best way to go, and it's been good. Drug says X's ADHD was hurting a cat. Hey, where's that squirrel? A single mom with 2 kids said, I thought you would be a nice guy. I laughed and said, I used to be. Attaboy, I renegade, laying it down in Chinatown. Well, they want, see, at the end of the day, a woman, you know, she seeks a protector and a provider. She wants to be in a relationship. Most women always want to be in relationships. It's just kind of how they run. It's fine. But they want to begin to control and push that and see how much they get. It's again, we can talk all day long about hypergamy, She's not yours. It's just your turn. She'll never be happy. But at the end of the day, none of that shit matters. You know what matters? I have a male brain and she has a female brain. Simple as that. It's like, does not compute. Our brains do not see things the same way. We do not process things the same way. We do not value things the same way. So take all those little sub areas of the red pill and just realize it all comes down to female nature, female biology, and male nature, male biology. And tell me, how long has it worked that we've understood each other? Because I don't think Adam understood Eve back in the Garden of Eden. Project, good to see you. Happy New Year. And to the FemCells Consortium and those watching your channel, may they learn the truth, the soft or the hard way. Only the wall rules. The wall is undefeated. The wall always wins. Nice doesn't give them the thigh sweats. Attaboy. Good to see Sound Engineer. He's making another appearance. You've been on 2 in the last, I think, 2 weeks. Good to see you, brother. Happy New Year to everybody, and especially to Sound Engineer. He's been around for probably my whole time. The younger generation is staying away from females. They don't even need years of MGTOW content to make that decision. Just looking at modern biatches makes them want to walk away. Truth. Only the wall rules. Men have to stop reasoning with gals and let them learn how to Eldar. You're right, Project. You're absolutely right today. Men are throwing away their values to get with women. Well, they want that power of the peace league. The power of the punani is intoxicating once you've had it, right? And most men can't control their biology. Good to see Europe back in the chat. Hope you're doing well. And so that's what happens. I mean, choose who you want to serve today. So you look at the kids today, 18 to 30-year-old men, 63% are not in relationships, or have not had sex, and are more conservative. The same age group, let's say 18 to 30 for women, most of them have some attention-seeking Instagram, OnlyFans, what have you. They're more promiscuous and they're more liberal. You tell me how today's generation, these Gen Zers and these Gen Z women, how are they going to connect if they're completely opposite at this point? And most of the Gen Z mothers, the majority of them, went the way of their daughter as well once technology came out. I see 45 to 60-year-old women addicted to their technology and their validation every single day. So you tell me the 18 to 30-year-old men today and the 18 to 30-year-old women, no wonder all these articles are coming out. Forbes saying by 2030, that's 5 years away, 45% of women between 18 and 32 will be childless. I wonder why. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Man, I love rabbit holes. I watched the movie The Substance. That was a crazy film, but it's all about the wall, isn't it, MacPal? The easiest way of manipulating and controlling a man is to destroy his self-esteem, 100%. That's what blue pill programming does. Why do you think so many men have ED dysfunction outside of the prawn? A lot of men are taking head meds just to deal with their ex-wife or their wives. Good to see the Spearman in the chat. Happy 2024. It's broken right now. No wonder birth rates are tanking. There you go. I mean, it's broken. The whole thing is broken. People say, get back on the plantation. There's a good girl out there. Well, I'm sure there is somewhere, but they're extremely rare. Right? Good to see El Padrino. Happy New Year to you, brother. Hope you are well. The BP brings character from your favorite fictional world to your world. Red pill transport you to your favorite fictional world. Says Europe. Good to see Mr. Hemi back in the chat. Salute to you, brother. It's a good thing Social Security trust will run out on Generation Y. I looked at my Social Security. You know, every year you get like an update, an accounting of where you're at, and it says when I'm 65 or something, like I can withdraw 4,000 or 4,500 a month. I'm like, yeah, right. Which would be dope. Wouldn't have to touch anything, but it ain't going to be around. Blue pill mindset is always positive. It doesn't matter to be a blue pill man. If 99.9% of women are not recommended, he will always say there are good women outside. Again, it's the programming is deep, folks. The programming is deep. A guy that's been married 4 times, good to see Pedro. A guy that's been married 4 times still believes that there's good women and good women, that marriages work, which is fine. Let him believe that. Maybe he just made 4 bad decisions. But I have a different theory. And I'm sure you know what that theory is. But the wall is undefeated. Rusty Rivers did something on the wall. That men can hit the wall. But our wall is a lot slower and slower if we take care of ourselves. Guys in a relationship need to stick to and focus to one woman only. Red pill men don't have to worry about one female. Well said, X-Mask. Hey, Rad, pay attention to the commercials. They're pushing more pregos and women with children. You know what? Now that you say that, I have taken notice of it. Mayor says it's always puzzled me the poor treatment men accept. I agree, Mayor. Good to see you, brother. Blue pill men hate real talk. They live also in Disney World. After divorce, I dated about 25 women in a year. Only one was worth it, but had to stop dating because my father fell and fractured his skull. Wow. One girl out of 25. Interesting. It's a 1 to 2%. Blue pill men need to learn to love women by giving them nothing. Attaboy, project. The boys at the top of the pyramid power structure don't like MGTOW because if Atlas shrugs, then it would be game over for the system of control that they have been building for many years. Facts. Pure gold. My father got married 3 times, a Brazilian, a Spanish, and a Portuguese. Wow. Good to see the legendary John Boston. Society as a whole is all messed up. That video I sent you about the guy who reviews guitars is now I saw it's so weird. What is wrong with people, John? I did like that though. The wall is undefeated because the wall is time itself. We don't hate the ladies. We just want to fall. We don't want to fall for their BS games and drama. That's their agenda to reel us in. Simps give us men a bad name. Absolutely. A man without self-esteem will seek for external validation. External validation will turn a man into a slave to their agenda. Well said, sound engineer. Exactly what we're talking about. Blue pill men support the narrative, a happy wife and happy life. Blue pill men are secret ultra beta max. Beta male simps. The tuna box for $3.99. Is that what you're saying, brother? We're X-Rad. We'll get 75% on our end. 2088 is going to belly up. That'd be great. How much will $4,000 a month get me back then? Maybe 800 to this. Like if I got 800 a month today, not much. Watching women be sports commentators. Yeah, they want to break into male spaces. A lot of our parents are getting old, guys. My mom's starting, I think, get a little dementia. Even during my marriage, I just focused on my kids and myself. You can't change other people. Well said, Mayor. I don't hate these biashes, but I do hate that they can become millionaires overnight. Yeah, but I tell you what, that validation through sexual measures will eventually kill them mentally and emotionally, and they wish they would never have done that. Timothy Sokol from San Pedro. Good to see you, brother. Good Sunday. It's unfortunate about our family members getting sick. My parents will probably be gone the next 5 to 7 years. I have to go to a wake. This woman I know, her mother passed away. Then the day before New Year's, her boyfriend died in a cheese. When it rains, it pours. No pill men, we divest. That's real proof of self-esteem. Well, I think it takes, outside of knowing all this, outside of realizing that the blue pill is just fantasy and the red pill is reality, a lot of guys are still scared to admit it. They don't want to live outside of the programming. It's too hard. Only a hardcore feminist would say we blank women. We are not hating women. We are just talking about the actual reality. Modern women are not recommended for marriage. I don't recommend it. I don't say I hate it. I don't say I'm against it. I don't recommend it for these reasons. John says, eat 0 carb, no fruit, low carb, and meat. Fast like Rad does, and you will help your body. Yep, I finished a 22-hour fast today. And then I started one at 1:30, so it's about an hour into another one. I like to mix it up. I did 3 last week. I did a 26-hour, a 16, and a 22-hour. And then this week I'll bust out 3 or 4. As working out. That's what you got to do as well. And cold plunge. Her box is used and abused. Men act like her box is a diamond ring. A lot of tuna boxes out there. A lot of tuna boxes. Their best way to be accountable is to blame men. A lot of them do. Pedro Valentin, life is short. It sure is, brother. Happy wife, happy life is part of that generational feminist indoctrination. The symptoms of usury underestimated the amount of information that gets exchanged about them. Notice that. You're not mistaken, SCE. Women have changed the rules of relationship to favor themselves. We are choosing not to play by their rules. Exactly. Rad, was it you that said men are wishing they never got married and women say they never should never have left their marriage? Yes, I think I said that two streams ago. Hey, good sleep well, brother. Glad you were here to take part in this. Have a great night. I did a 22-hour fast. I'm going to do a 20. Fasting's great. If you can do it, literally, if a man can do 18 hours of fasting 4 times a week for the rest of his life, he will see amazing benefits. If he can do 3 24 hours of fast a week, that's great. I think that's plenty. In fact, I think two solid 24-hour fasts and maybe 2 16-hour intermittent fasts or 18 is perfect. Doing them every day at the same time will put your body at baseline. You have to switch it up. Women do not bring men peace. She should not disturb your peace. A lot of them don't. I mean, the peace is when, let's just say, the woman is just not satisfied and wants more things. Well, that's okay. You can want whatever you want. You want a bigger car, a bigger house. That's okay to want, but let's be practical. Do we have the money to afford it? But the peace comes because she's always going to want that and never, or most likely might not get it when she wants it or never get it at all. And so that causes frustration, nagging, belittling, and so forth. You just can't get away from it. Good for you, 100 days. My longest is 96. So you did an awesome job, brother. My way or highway. If she wants to be the man, she can do it alone. To the streets, she belongs. Did I say hi to Gone Fishing? I think so. Gone Fishing, good to see you, brother. I saw this woman lose 55 pounds, and her main thing was not eating after 3 p.m. Well, that's what they say, right? Even if you don't eat after 6, what do they say? Eat after 8, gain weight. But I wouldn't eat after 6. No peace means no growth. Yeah, I mean, if there's no peace, you're not moving up. 1 meal a day is a great way to go, Mac Pal. I'm going to agree with that statement by Spearman. I lost a childhood friend in 2023 and just lost a friend 2 days after Christmas. Wow. Rest in peace. It bothered me. It made me realize a few things. I need to get myself back in shape. How old were your friends, brother? That's, we're getting to that age now. Every day I think more and more about the next. I want to really maximize the remaining life I have left. 150 pounds, good for you. And the best thing to do is obviously take every minute as a gift. I mean, I never really thought about that or worried about that, but as I get older, time just seems to be going faster and faster. We don't have time for this nag and this lack of peace. We don't. They want it from the get-go to be free on the streets, men chasing their tail until they are old and demented. Well, they're still doing it. They're still doing it in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Fasting helps you stabilize your metabolism, but you have to be very careful with it. What I like about it, I mean, there's great weight loss benefits to it, especially the longer you go. I do a 3-day water fast, but I like the autophagy effects, cleaning your body out, resetting your insulin, all the issues and the inflammation that causes in life is what I like about it. Time is the most valuable thing you possess, especially over 50. Rad, I just discovered the Yuka app, which lets you scan the barcode of stuff at the store. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Brandon Trubla, good to see you, brother. He's back in the saddle, driving a big rig. He live streams every day, folks. So subscribe to his channel. 46 and 44. Wow, that is young. Wonder what, hopefully they didn't have any terminal illnesses. Maybe it was a fluke, but people die. I mean, people are dying left and right. My kid, when my kid that's going to be 24, his girlfriend in high school, the mom divorced the dad, and 5 or 6 years before my kid started hanging out with her, and he lived in an apartment, and she had the girlfriend of my son had a brother, so there were 2 kids in the family. Anyhow, 57 years old, got drunk one night, fell down the stairs, bam. Force blunt trauma to the head. He was done. And nobody found him for like 4 to 5 days. So yeah, shit happens. I mean, it's a weird world. Now they're saying, I read this article, Padrino, where they're saying we might have hit the decade where people can live forever. Who wants to live forever? Not me. There's so much more to the red pill than dark female nature, and we have lots of the red pill behind the red pill conversation we can't talk about. Yes. 100% SCE. Let's see, Mayor says, in the past, guys asked me for advice about their poor relationship. They thought I was too harsh. Yeah. I just heard the other day that when I first moved in, a lot of my neighbors didn't like me because, number one, I didn't have a girl. And a couple people asked me if I married, and I said, hell no. And they thought, oh, he's a misogynist. He hates women. And I was more vocal as well. But at the same time, yeah, if you give a guy advice, let's say a guy comes to you and says, I'll tell you exactly what will happen. Oh, I'm having issues with my wife. Oh, really? What's up? She's unsatisfied. She's not happy. She wishes I could provide more. Okay, so what do you think about it? Well, I'm really pissed off. I've been working my ass off about it. And he'll show, and I'm just really upset that she can't even appreciate for all what I've done. She wants more and more and more. I said, well, that's what women want. They're just going to use men. That's not true. My wife's not like that. And then they go from getting upset, right? And you're giving them the harsh truth to going back and defending their wives. Why do I know that? Because I did it. I knew a logger that tripped walking to his truck, fell on a stick, ripped his neck open, and jeez. Yeah, it's just flukes. It's like, man, did we sign up for how we're going to die before we were born? Like, all right, man, last time I died of old age, this time I want to go out getting a log splitter in my neck. That'd be cool. The universe is a very weird, energetic weirdness. I don't know. Your neighbors hate you because they didn't like you from the beginning. A hater is always a hater. Hate is going to hate. Is that what you're saying, Europe? Have a great afternoon to you, brother. Back to the Chiefs. He's a Kansas City man. You don't really need a woman until she is divorcing you. There you go. There you go. But at the end of the day, man, if society can get us with little to no self-esteem, they got us. It's even better than us not being around. They've got a utility. And I guarantee the programming on the television, Tell-A-Vision, is all about keeping men in the matrix. The matrix of marriage, the matrix of relationship, the matrix of being a father. That's a matrix in itself, especially if you're in the court system. Women with value are married at max with 20 years of age, got a couple of kids, and they are never divorced. Making girl trips, modern women love the life of a 304. It's mysterious, it's fast, it's different. They're tired of their boring husband who was abusive and controlling, and she was a homemaker and a wife and a mother, but she wanted to be out running the streets, and then she calls you abusive and files a motion. Wants to be a 304 and does it. She rides that carousel with no lube. And then a couple years down the road, she acquires more kittens, more grape juice in the form of a box, and becomes bitter and cuts her hair. And still mad at the ex-husband because he's happy. Delart, good to see you, brother. Mouth Agape is in the chat as well. Good to see you, brother. I bet he is. I agree. I don't want to live forever, but I don't wish to waste any more time on nonsense, just trying to live the best way possible with a positive mindset. And that's all we're trying to do, keep it peaceful. They made all the art and architecture bland to demoralize the population. Everything is so, absolutely, man. The programming, it's amazing what marketing can do. Brad doesn't buy into the propaganda from the propaganda. Shut it down. I don't know what I believe. The older I get, the less I know. There's also the gaslighting, Mega. Good to see you, brother. Yeah. I'd rather be ghosted instead of being ghosted by them. Screw their delusional rules and demands. Just female nature. I don't even know if they think it's a game. They just think that's what they do. Fear of missing out. She is fearing that she can't get any sausages anymore. Well said, Europe. In 5th grade, where'd you go? I think you're a couple years older than me. No matter how hot to trot, how many mean and surly or friendly or sweet they are, 10 plus 10 years going on, they're going to rot. Rather drink rot gut whiskey than these rat gat gals. Attaboy. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It is what it is. These women are in open rebellions against the Most High, the thinking man's. Yeah, and they've been in open rebellion since Adam and Eve, or Lilith, if you want to go even more folklore. I have had many women complain to me about their husbands. They are pre-justifying an affair. Well, again, a lot of women's morality is trumped by their emotions. So you and I might think that cheating, if a woman leaves and has an affair on her husband, that's cheating. That's wrong. I would agree, but that's immoral. That broke the vows. She would say, you know what? I needed attention and he couldn't give it to me. She'll take all of the morality out of it and say it was because I am feeling unloved. But I don't think that's a game. I just think that's how they operate. It is what it is. Gaslighting, it's like the Victorian era. There you go. I've always lived knowing I will die. It gives you urgency. I love to laugh and have fun. I mean, that's a great way to live. The other day I got on our local news and I was looking at the obituaries. Just maybe there's some guy I worked with that passed away or whatnot. And I'm seeing a lot of 30 to 50-year-old people dying, men and women. A lot of them are self-deletions. Some are like crazy terminal illnesses that show up within like 2 days and they're gone in a week. But a lot of younger people. I see a lot of old farts too, 80 to 100, 80 to 92. Tons of those. So we know that they've lived in a processed world for the last 50 years. Somehow they made it. But that's a great way to live. I mean, every day is a gift. I didn't really believe that until I turned 50, or actually until my son left the house and went to college. And when I became an empty nester, I just started realizing, I got to make the best. I mean, I got to do what I need to do. Her dream is to become the biggest 304 with a higher body count than an old Honda Civic. Those Civics can go 1,000,000 miles. Simone in the chat. Good to see you. I did hear Europe that a Toyota went 1,000,000 miles. A Toyota like truck from the 80s, one of those small two people cab, and it went 1,000,000 miles. And so it was probably like a 1985, like Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox Toyota, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a 4-wheel drive. It went 1,000,000 miles, and Toyota Corporation bought it from him for 3 times the original price he paid for it. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that should be a marketing event for an automobile manufacturer. But anyhow, it is what it is. Good to see Simone. Perhaps it's time to present crimes against humanity charges towards the globalists. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, what can we do? You know, all of us, whatever side of politics, most of us are conservative or libertarian. If you're a liberal, you shouldn't be on this channel because you're on the feminist side. But at least libertarian, freedom seekers. But at the end of the day, really, what can we do? We are a majority that's more silent. We are more vocal this election. But what do we do? The only thing we can really do is prepare, be the best version of ourselves, a version of father, a version of uncle, a version of friend. You know, if you have kids, be the best father you can be. And then, live your life in peace, quiet, and freedom. That's the best we can do. We're not going to, these man marches don't work. So, and Joker was talking about building some compound. No, but no guys are going to that. Maybe 2% will go. The world is upside down. That's why I'd rather be a loner. There you go. Honda transmissions aren't as good as their engines. I agree. We had a Honda Odyssey minivan. The transmission went out at 60,000 miles. They paid for it. See you later, El Padrino. Jet Electro. Glad you're going live, Rad. Snowing in current Kentucky. Yeah, we had snow last 3 inches yesterday, 4 inches. Let's see. Her box smells like the Atlantic Ocean. Another man's trash and another. That's why men love virgin feminine women, because they're not trashed. We love low body count. We don't like these sluts. Good for you. Good for you doing what you wanted to do today. Joker banked the cash and then complained about it. The issue, I've never been a subscriber to his channel. I don't know. I don't like his voice. There's people, you like what you like about. I think his messages, for the most part, for a while was spot on. I'd catch a couple live streams or videos every now and again. He had some interesting titles. But somebody said he was going to build a compound. He won this money. Great. Most men won't show up. I mean, they don't show up to these events. Because we as men, most of us don't want to bother with crowds. We don't want to bother going there. It disrupts our peace, quiet, and freedom. So that's not going to work, going and having events like that. Really, the only thing we can do to make an impact is, number one, seek peace, quiet, and freedom. Simple as that. And hopefully that energy branches off to other people. My mother taught me to live each day. She was an amazing lady, born in the 30s, never complained. She was a true lady. Yeah, they went through a shit storm back in those days. My grandfather died in 2019 at almost 104. And he kept telling me, my first car was a horse. Those guys cut ice out of the pond. I asked my grandfather what the greatest invention in his 104 years life was, and he said the refrigerator. Ponder that for a minute. Because I would have thought computers, transportation, technology. He said the refrigerator, the icebox. He called it the icebox. Because the refrigerator now could make sure that food didn't spoil, which apparently there was a lot of deaths by spoiled food. Penicillin could be stored at home in a refrigerator. So go figure. It's not the years in your life, it's the life in your years. Set the bar high and stay there. Well said, Timothy. Yeah, it's not about how much, it's how much what can we do? Because I guarantee a lot of us who were married, we didn't live our life. We were existing in a lot of ways, just trying to make the bills, make people happy, trying to be the best version of a father and a husband we could be. And, it gets to a point where you exist. That's great. It's the life in our years. Most people are dead. They're just existing. They make it 80 years, but only live really probably 5 years. Truly, after they became an adult. They just ran the programming. It's unfortunate. You see a bunch of them. You got it, SCE. I think you're talking to me, maybe somebody else. Blue pill guys don't get this. Gals only have as many miles as they are willing to accept after decades of the carousel. Brides, remember, men, she is more than her body count. Count the delusion she holds. Out of all women I've had in the past, I'm happy I've never got any of them prego. Bad time to bring a child. It's not a good time. Freedom fighters in the chat. Did you see the story about the Kentucky police raiding the wrong house and deleting the owner? It was over blank weed whacker, and they didn't have it. I heard about it, but again, and then you think about it, that could happen to any one of us. Good to see you, freedom fighter. Marriage is like buying a boat. The best days are the day you buy and the day you sell. Oh, boats are bust out another 1,000. Yeah, a lot of people. There's a lot of tenseness going on. Women have totally made sex a commodity. Doesn't mean anything now. It's like junk food and it's cheap. Yeah. Back when a woman's virtue, she was golden, worth gold. A woman that didn't tattoo herself, have goofy piercings, wore an exorbitant amount of makeup. The women that our grandfathers married were classy women, strong women in their own right, but also strong in their knowledge of the role that they would play in the relationship. They didn't cake their faces with makeup and hair extensions and bolt-ons and Botox. They lived a life that they wanted to live, the majority of them. And we're talking the silent generations and those folks. Maybe some of our parents were like that. At least their parents were. So, yeah, it's crazy. And they've come out in sex. A woman that was a virgin, and still today, a virgin is a very valuable woman. More so valuable than a woman that's had sex with 2 men or 1 man. I mean, let's just be real. Men want classy, feminine women. But now everything, their outfits are sexualized. Their Lululemon, showing everything. Their bras, the fitting of t-shirts, everything. Back when, in the 30s and 40s and 20s, those women wore nice skirts and they were proper and they made sure that they went out and wanted to be ladies. Not 304s, but ladies. We should date them and forget that they even exist. They'll chase us. They blow up harder than a cyber truck in front of the towers, says Ishi. Good to see you. Yeah, people say, well, Rad, will female nature ever get it? Will male nature ever get it? No. How are we going to get it? Most of us are going to have to go through this conditioning. Although Gen Z is way ahead of us in terms of accepting the reality of the world today. Back in the 80s and 90s, even the 304s had some class. You're not wrong, Jet. You're not wrong. Women that wear lots of makeups are setting the standard for her everyday appearance. Well said. We definitely need police reforms nationwide. Civil forfeiture needs to end. Qualified immunity needs to be laser focused, not all encompassing like an umbrella. A lot of shit's got to change, SCE. I don't know if I have any hope it will, though. Divorced women are also 304s. They're absolutely. They can't build a family. They left the man 99% of all cases. Yep, because of money. I don't get it. They wanted a relationship that they left one. Now they're up. You would see some of the gals I hung out with. They had 4 kids. They were teachers. Their husbands were lawyers. They were very well in the church. Total 304. 30 to 40 body count. 3 years after their marriage. Tons of them. In today's world, most high school girls have a 20 to 30 body count. There you go. And that's conservative. Monk for the win. Age like milk. Well said, Timothy. Love your neighbor's story. People have no clue. They don't. The yin yang showed me how men and women mirrored and balanced each other for peace and harmony. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about. When those classy women, they balanced. They knew each other's roles. You know? She is evil in every way, always nagging, comparing herself to all her girlfriends, never happy no matter what. No. They're never happy. They're always seeking something else, something more. I don't know that song, Simone. Law enforcement is corrupt from bottom to top. Read about that situation in lecture. I gotta watch that video. You guys got me. I'm gonna write that down. Okay. If she'll delete a defenseless blank, what do you think she's got for you? There you go. So I got to tell you this story. Even if her man says no makeup, she'll still wear it for herself in the world. 100%. She doesn't wear it for you. In high school, 10th grade. 10th grade was my first year in high school. Freshman, and that was what we did for high school. Most high schools were 9 to 12. We were 10 to 12. So there's this girl named Christine. Her last name, it was the name of a medal. A medal. Anyhow, brunette. Oh, she was hot. She was like 15 going on 25. She was one of those like Linda Carter, but she was 304-ish, in a lot of different ways. So we all go on spring break, and there's a couple of us, 3 or 4 skaters that hung out, and a couple of skate buddies, and Christine was one of them. But and a girl named Tina, who she got the nickname Tuna a few months later. But anyhow, Christine Steele goes on vacation. Spring break. So we all come back from spring break. What'd you do? Oh, I went to my grandma's house. We went, to the mountain, or we just stayed home, whatever. And so Christine says to all of us, there's literally like 9 people. This is 1987. She says, we're like, hey, Christine, what'd you do? Well, I went to the country with my uncle and my cousins, and I rode a horseback, bareback, with no underwear on. And it was great. Like, what? I rode a horse bareback with no underwear on at my uncle's ranch. We're like 304. Total 304. Trogue says he knew some. They weren't very honest. You shouldn't trust anything they say. Plead the 5th. Ask to speak to your attorney. Never talk to they do not have your best interest. There's a lot of innocent charges based on what cops do. Now, I'm not anti-cop, but I think you need lawyers to protect you. And I don't think most police officers protect in that way, if it's really sketchy. Let's see. To all brothers in the chat, forget your ex. Her back is getting blown out right now. I had many girls told me after sex that her ex-man or boyfriend wants her back. There you go. Christian Henny in the chat. Good to see you. That's why women like horses. Probably, Trogue. I rode a horse bareback with no underwear on, still to this day. What, 38 years later, I'm still laughing about it. I could still see. And she was hot. She had big tits. And she was like 5'8.5", like tall and just nice. But we were obviously, she was dating 25-year-olds as a sophomore. Modern women are making 3 or 4 challenges. My body count is higher than yours. What a shame. Be happy and proud. Where's the transparency? We've got to bring back shaming. We've got to shame the 304s. Megatron. It should be illegal, but man, what image did she give us? There's 5 of us skate. 15-year-old flowing with testosterone boys. What do you think we're thinking about? She just basically squirted massive dopamine in our heads because she just gave us the image. I rode a horseback bareback. And the way she said it, I can still see it today. Watching bareback with no underwear on. It was wonderful. So 304 at age 15. Good to see Mr. Sammy in the chat. Saludos. Horse chicks always smell like horses. Oh, never date a horse chick. And I'm beginning to believe that most dog chicks are whack too. Even good cops look the other way at Injustice. A lot of movies about dirty cops. A lot of movies. No matter how hot she is, some guy somewhere is sick of her shit. Bingo. And guys need to remember that, what Timothy says. If you're having a little challenging breakup or something. She is so strong and independent. That's why she needs from her ex-husband child support and food stamps. You go, girl. You're so independent, but you still rely on the dude. Nothing's more important than sleeping when you don't recharge your batteries. Well said, brother. Good to see you, SCE. SS Wildlife in the chat. Hello to you. Fred Stone is back. Good to see Fred. Great concept, rad. Ex-wife did nothing but shit on my career that was inevitably going to benefit us both, from which was my whole goal. But she was too close-minded to see past the next day. Well said, Fred. Good to see you, brother. Good to see SS. Horse was likely a euphemism. Knowing her, I guarantee it was a horse. Don't forget the cat ladies. We won't. Lack of sleep. Yeah. Sleep's important. Greg Terrible. At least she wasn't a bitch about it. We were still friends with her, but that was like that. She was transparent. I mean, how many women at that time would say that? I'm seeing a lot of women obsessed with getting the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. Is that the AI one? And then they're going to upgrade their earphones and their chargers and their iWatches, and it's going to be $3,000 right into Apple's product pockets to these dumbasses. Stay single, brother. I was in a class once and a teacher said, sperm has sugar. A girl goes, why can't you taste it? I'm surprised she said, but why does it taste so salty? That's funny. Yeah, sleep's important. Sleep's important, Simone. Rover took over. There you go. My ex kept me from making money. She would have made a lot more from the divorce if she wasn't a controlling biatch. Well, most of them try to do that. They want to win. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. If you are on a dating app or a girl sends you a non-iMessage, this is the West, let's say Canada and the US. I never respond back to a woman using an Android in the past because most women are hive-minded. If you have an iPhone, you have enough money to pay for it. If a woman typically has an Android, she's on some weird plan or she doesn't have enough money to get a good plan. Does that make sense? I always get weirded out by a woman, and I'm always right. All the women that use Android, and unfortunately, it's a weird class society that we live in with these iPhones and Android phones, but that's reality. There is something to it. I've never been proven wrong with that. If a man gets fat, he is called fat. If a woman gets fat, she is called curvy and beautiful. You like that programming, Europe, huh? Or she's lots to love. She's, what do they call it? She's curvy. There was another word I was thinking too. I will never use an iPhone, waste of money, and good filter for gold diggers. Yeah, I mean, most men in the US that use Android users are notoriously male, especially in the US. iPhone users are notoriously female. So it always gets me weirded out. But yeah, Apple has a very expensive ecosystem. I have an iPhone 13 I got unlocked. I've had all 3 of them, Windows, Android, and iPhone. It's called retail therapy till rent is due. Then it's do what you got to do. Monk mode for the wind. There you go. Rafter is back. She thick. Yeah, she's thick. No, you fat, girl. You fat. She thick. Have you guys seen the video of the guy that likes pogs? He's this black guy. He's got kind of a flat top. Just type in black guy pog, P-A-W-G. And he says, I like pogs. And the guy's like, what's a pog? Fat ass white girl with thick. She thick. I like the thick. So anyhow, off tangent. Just keep WhatsApp and texting, no social media on there. There you go. Alucard, good to see you, brother. Appreciate you being here again. Those Apple products are highly addictive. They are. She's nuts. She chooses this life. A lot of them are nuts, Christian. I'd rather share a cabin with a dogman than date a modern woman. Well said, Alucard. What does Sammy say? Voluptuous. That's another term of saying she's big and beautiful. Look, I don't want a stick. I want a woman that's proportioned. Not no big but heavy. I always wondered how these big Kim Kardashian bottoms and rear ends and Brazilian butt lifts, how do they sit on the toilet and do their biz? It just, their bottoms are so big. They're like big watermelon bottoms or something. It's weird. She has big bones. That's another one. She ain't fat. She got big bones. Her grandparents were German, or her parents are German. Thick men, she has access to resources. Tribal thinking. Ooh, that makes sense. Makes sense, Emmy. There was a vid where women rated themselves in terms of attractiveness. Then the men rated them. The woman put the Uggo fatties as number one. No fat chicks. I need to make a sticker that says no fat chicks. Rad. That's funny. Of course they're going to rate the fatties. Fat chicks are for simps with no game. Even muskrats need sex. They're scooters. That's what they're called. They break the toilet, says Alucard. I mean, just think about it. It's like guys that are like on roids that look like the Great Hulk. They can't even brush their teeth with their muscles are too big. So I'm just curious what these heavies do. They've got to be doing something up there. The brothers have all the fat white chicks. I don't know what it is. You know what I think it is? Oh, there's something about the fat white chick that in my high school, I knew of 3 or 4 of them. There wasn't a ton in the 80s as there are today, but she always had she had 3 kids literally by the time she was 25 with 3 different black guys. They'll say she is not fat, but she got more curves to love. She is so feminine in her wide fatty hips. And she walks the stairs. She got no breath anymore. When she when is sitting on the toilet will say, please get off of me. Please. Brad, what are your thoughts on women chasing higher degrees? Stupid. Most of them stay single, become boring. Their role should be behind the kitchen sink and being a wife and a mother. Jojo Jackson, good to see you. Yeah, that's not a good image, is it, Mega? You pulled the old George Costanza, attaboy. Oompa Loompa song starts playing when they walk. They're just heavy and they rub their legs together and everything. Women are chasing higher degrees and look down upon men like me. I'm debt-free, making 6 figs with a bachelor's degree. We don't care what a woman thinks. We don't care what kind of degree she has. We just want her to be classy and feminine. That's it. Women on TikTok are paid to act a fool. It's all programming. Well said, Richie. Good to see you, brother. Rich is in the UK. Women getting higher education is just making the hypergamy destroy. Yeah, it's basically taking them more and more out of the market. Again, Show me a girl getting a degree, I'll show you a box of wine and cats for her future, and a medal from the cock carousel as the #1 million-mile rider. We don't care about your degree. You want to make money? Great. You contribute. You act feminine and classy and be the wife that if you wanted to be a wife or the mother in both. But female nature, male nature. It's not a matter of if she can get another sip, but when. Yeah, it's a matter of going in her phone. She's got 10 orbiters already. Fat chicks in corduroy pants, brush fire. I like that. She thick. She fat ass black girl. I like them thick. Problem is we pay for it since 66% or so of student loan debt is held by women. Yes. Yes, we're all looking forward to April 15th, aren't we? Here in the United States. Make thigh gap great again. Okay, so I did see a gal, two gals walking. They must have been 300 apiece, 5'5", and they were, one of them was rubbing their legs, the other one wasn't, and they were both seemed like out of breath. So it's like, how do they compete with that noise level and their breath level when having a conversation? Please don't sit on me. The toilet's destroyed. Degrees don't mean anything. Plenty of people that rule the world with that. Yeah. I mean, you have to have a degree in some stuff, but it is what it is. So if she has orbiters, she must be big as Jupiter. There you go. And the Oscar for the best CC scene goes to Ms. 304, 2 million miles. I just can't imagine just the micro shimmerism of that woman that had sex with 100 guys. She's going to be self-deleted probably within 2 years. Women young or old, only good short term. Past generations of men, they don't know better. God bless MGTOW. Bingo. Well said, Project. Women decide when men get promoted out of her friend zone. Yes, they do. And today, Jimmy got a promotion from friend zone. The longest guy in friend zone, 35 years, goes to Timmy. He is now going to be part of me. It'd be funny. Let's make a ribbon for the #1 friend in the friend zone. Electric scooter women. Yeah, they're riding all over. He was abusive, controlling, and a freak. Even Batman and Joker are not married. But anyhow, I think that black guys that get with the white women, I think they love the identity of like I would say most of their mothers and grandmothers were heavy women, aunts, just bigger women. So I think he felt comfort in that, but he didn't want the black guy that's with the white pog does not want a mouthy woman, but he wants a curvy, voluptuous woman. So he goes with the white gal because she's not mouthy like his mother or grandmother or aunt or uncle, and but still has the thickness, the jugs. True love is dead. At 27, I realized some women loved me in college, but things didn't work. Post-college women just want a finished product. Well said, WS Wildlife. I agree with that statement. I mean, you start seeing things later in life. They don't see us. They see what we provide and how we protect. Saw a video this morning about OBGYN stuff, talk about the gross stuff they got to put up with. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine, like, if you're a doctor and a woman's coming in to see if she has any diseases and the stench? Oh, that's probably where they wear masks. So they might not have to smell it. Percentage of men not looking for relationship. That's a great question. Not looking, probably 5%. Maybe 10%. But they ride those hogs. Trug says black women are pretty aggressive. Everyone I've seen, I wouldn't want to be their partner, boyfriend, because they're never happy. They beat the crap out of their dudes in every way. A lot of street people know more than, yeah, I agree. Book smart people are not smart people. They just are good at books and memorizing. Everybody wants to rule the world. We call them fat bottom girls. Oh, that song always makes me laugh when I hear it. What man wants to pay new car price for an old taxi? Even the town bicycle gets retired. How about the old retired village bicycles? She's walking down, getting her coffee in the morning. One guy says, she's retired. She's village bicycle, holds the record for 30 years. But you know, some simp would hit that too. Higher education is a hindrance in rational thought. Yes, it's all programming there too. And then it's all done by their boards, their PhD boards, and everyone, they're all like, even to get a PhD, you got to go in front of the other doctorates, and they all have their own little cult. She is a baddie and a fatty. If she got bigger arms than me, I will say next. How was time with your sons during the holidays? Oh, they're good. They're in Costa Rica. They were there for the past week with their mother and sister, but we had a good time. Made dinner, hung out all Christmas Eve. Good to see my boys. Yeah, and it is a little lonely for my 24-year-old because a lot of his friends got married, but he's like, I don't want any part in these women. I go, I don't blame you. Older women are very difficult to deal with. Oh, they're already set in stone. Blue pill programming made us think how good gals seem to be mirroring our fetishes. I call out bad advertising for men in the long run. Well said, Project. Women are so huge they need 2 seats. Brad, was your ex the best looking? That's a good question, Richie. Probably. 174 pounds average weight. Like the blind man that walks past the fish market and says, good morning, ladies. Who would you choose to be in the middle of the woods with you, a dog man or modern women? Grizzly Adams. Fatties are Karen. It's a scientific fact. They are. And they have a lot of testosterone. I used to be in touch with a girl. Now she's engaged. She'll come back and think, absolutely. They always come back. You'll hear from them. F-14s by the best feeling ever. Attaboy, Christian. She will eat your wallet. Women love the wallet. They love to spend. They love things. They love to acquire. They love substance. It is what it is. You can live with it or you can live without it. And if you live with it, these are the pros and cons, which are 10 to 1. If not, higher than that, 10 to 0.5. Or you choose not to live with them and see the advantage of not living with somebody. That's all it is, a blue pill. What is the reality we're living and what is the fantasy? Blue pill, you live the fantasy. Oh, I just gotta make a little bit more money and she'll be happy. That's a fantastical way of thinking. But the reality is she'll never be happy. So if I can't make her happy, I gotta get the hell out. Or realize that. Your apple tree is a year old. Don't cut it down like George Washington. No, that was a cherry tree. Apples were the first crop grown when the Pilgrims came because they could produce beer, apple beer or cider, very quickly. She will never come back. She replaced you. She moved on. Modern women are demons. I think maybe a lot of them will, yeah. Some will come back, some won't. Glad to hear you had some quality time. I feel the same way. Marriage and kids seem like a disaster with this economy. How do kids take care of it now? How are they paying for these expenses? It's expensive. Women are objectively pretty, but men are subjectively valuable to the world. Women are beautiful. They hijack men's biology. And when they do that, they are the parasite. They feed on you. Not all, but the majority. Want to hide money from your wife? Hide it under the vacuum cleaner. That's a good one. I was in LTR with a woman that got mistaken for Kim Basinger. Unfortunately, like Bassinger, she was also a cluster B. Oh man, but Kim Bassinger is a nut job, but it was hot in those 90s. Woo! But man, if you were in an LTR with one that looked like that, even better. Uncle Sam is paying. He's paying for everything. The offspring were ahead of their time. They knew that society was full of 304s. Pretty fly for a white guy. Keep them separated. Time we move outside of your house. Bye, your ex-wife and my ex-rad life. Truly appreciate your time. Move on with your temporary, unavailable freedom. Mr. Christian, time, attention, and energy. You are damned as a boy or man if you have a wife or 8.5 years of marriage and decades of wasted youth on gals are proof enough. Choose who you want to live with. It's as simple as that. At best, women are depreciating assets. A lot of them are. Guys, this has been a great live stream. We will see you on the next one. Go have a great Sunday. And I'm out. Peace.